Hello, wonderful people. It is Mark here from Not Defining. I hope you're doing so well. Thank you for being here. This is the place where we delve into those difficult issues, those gray areas surrounding sexuality, gender, sex, love, relationships, mental health, and so much more, so that you can find your best self however you define. And today, I just want to talk about why it is that I don't define it, why it is that I am not defining. A lot of people, of course, in society at the moment are very keen to define their sexuality, to define their gender. It seems like there's loads of different labels all the time coming up, but I don't officially define any of that stuff. I refuse. And I just want to explain to you why that is and why that's really important to me. So basically, the first reason for that is that I don't actually believe that we can categorize sexuality or gender. Categories are just words. And I think a lot of people get it wrong in our society when they think that gay, straight, bi, ace, whatever, are actually like definable terms. I think a lot of people think that you can either be one or you're not. Or there's some kind of like science to it, or there's some kind of biology to it, some kind of psychological, neurological state that you can say, yes, you are a lesbian, you are bisexual, you are definitively heterosexual. There's not. There is not. Okay? And I really, really wish that more people would know this. A lot of the time, especially as people who don't necessarily fit inside one of those predefined boxes, we feel like we're broken, we feel like we don't belong, and we feel like maybe we're in denial, or we feel like there's like one true identity that we secretly are, but that we kind of don't realize we are, and we're going to realize that we are, and it's all going to come out, and we're all going to... No, that's not true. That can cause so much trauma and so much stress, so much anxiety, and it has done for me in my life. And so that's really why I made this channel, is to educate people and to say, look, these are terms, they are useful terms, but they are not specific, and you don't have to be one or the other. Sexuality and gender take place on a spectrum, okay? The best way I can describe it is if you imagine the color spectrum. Okay, so color is scientifically in fractions of light between dark and light, right? Black and white, total absence of light and total light, right? And then the colors are the different fractions in between. So you have words like red, green, blue, orange, turquoise, and we have those, so they're very helpful, right? Because we can say, oh, that's red, that's blue, that's green, fine. But the mistake to make is to feel like, okay, there is a definitive line between red and pink. No, there's not. Okay, there's a definitive line between turquoise and green. No, there isn't. They are subjective. They are somewhere along the line. And we can use the words red and pink or green and turquoise to generally describe what we're trying to describe. But it's important to remember at all times that there is a spectrum between the two. And there's no one specific dividing line between the two. And that's exactly how sexuality and gender is. A person's sexuality is really like their personality. It's not something that you can categorize in like 1, 2, or 3 boxes. It's unique, it's diverse. What we're talking about is someone's attraction, someone's draw, someone's connection with another human being, sexually, romantically, physically, sensually, in terms of their fantasies, in terms of their affection, their intimacy, their emotion. All of these things come into it, and you cannot box that into just like gay, straight, bisexual. You can't. A lot of people use those terms, and it's absolutely great. But I want to just tell you that If you feel like you don't fit into one of those, or if those terms don't represent you, that is okay. That is okay. You don't need to define it. Would you define your personality? And sometimes people say, oh, I've got an addictive personality, or I'm an empath. Yeah, or I'm a bossy person, or I'm a, whatever it might be. Personality types and traits. These are all very useful to help us understand who we are. But we wouldn't say that that is exactly who we are, and that is all that we are, and that is the way we always. No, it's just a way of speaking. So that's what I want to say. By the way, if you are interested in understanding your sexuality more, if you want to explore it with me, I provide one-on-one coaching. You can check the links below. I would love to explore this with you. I work with hundreds of people to help them to kind of get to the place where they feel comfortable, wherever that might be. So if that's you, then I would love to chat with you. We also have a Patreon site where you can come and chat with other people. We've got a podcast, we've got group sessions and everything. So come and join us. You've got loads of support there. The next reason, I guess, just why I don't define my sexuality or gender is because I just can't be bothered with explaining it to people. I think a lot of the time, even if you are bisexual, even if you're gay, a lot of the time, we have to explain it to people, and people have endless questions. If you're anything that falls outside of the hetero norm, people are like, oh, well, how does that work? How do you know? How can you prove it? Like, have you ever been with that person or this person or whatever? And there's so much pressure on us as LGBTQ plus or questioning people that I just don't want that. I don't want to spend the short, beautiful time I have on this lovely planet explaining to people things that are, quite frankly, private. And that leads me on to the next reason. The next reason is that my sexuality and my gender is private. And that is the way it should be. Like, these are things that only really I should be talking about with maybe a partner, It is not up to me to talk about my private life, my sexuality. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that with random people. Right? And straight people, cis hetero people don't have to do that. So I think that we deserve privacy as well. Now, you will notice, anyone who knows me knows this account, that I do identify with certain labels. Now, you're going to be like, well, you just said that you don't. Hear me out, right? You see the bisexual, bi plus pride flag behind me. You have the word queer behind me. I actually use different terms. And the reason that I do this is because, look, we live in a world where these terms exist. And I actually have a lot of love for a lot of these terms. I have such a love for the bi plus community. I have such a love for my queer community, and I'm proud to define as non-binary. I'm proud to define as pansexual, as fluid, as the other things. But I use them interchangeably, and that's okay. So I want to let anybody know who's like, well, I don't really define with anything, but I kind of define with this, or I kind of connect with that. That's okay. Use them at will. Again, like the personality types, use them when it's helpful for describing something about you. But don't feel like that one thing has to define all of you. And I guess the last reason is that I love all of them. I love my community. I love my queerness, and I love to feel connected with other queer people. I love my bi-ness, and I love to feel connected with the bi community. I love being non-binary. And if you notice, these terms are actually quite broad. They're quite kind of all-encompassing terms. And really what they mean is that I'm not exclusive. So bisexual is not exclusive to one sex or gender. Non-binary is not exclusive to one binary gender. Yeah, queer is very expansive. Fluid means it changes, right? And again, fluid. I chop and change, so that's why I can't stick to one. So I use terms when I feel it's appropriate, but ultimately I do not define because, I just don't want to. So I would love to hear from you. Do you define your sexuality or gender? Do you not? Are you exploring it? If you like this content, then click the join button at the bottom of the video. You will support my work. I would be so grateful, and you get loads of extra content that I'm putting out. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you a great day, however you define. If you'd like to know more about different identities that you can use, which are broad and kind of diverse and kind of encompass all, then check out this video, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.